let's go now, man. Let's live up the deck. Get them sails down. Yes, sir, button up the hatches. We're getting ready to pull into port. Yes, what we need to do is get ready. Aye, you scurvy dogs, you need to get that set correctly. That's right, lower the anchor. Oh, look who we have, our guests. Hello, kids. How are you? I'm Captain Carl. Yes, sir, I've been told to be able to speak to you today about a special captain that I like very much. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm Captain Carl. I used to be Pirate Carl. But one day, a gentleman came and told me about Jesus. When I heard his name, I began to ask all kinds of questions. And that wonderful man told me all about Jesus, and I changed. And I asked Jesus into my heart to save me. Now, I'm Captain Carl, no longer Pirate Carl, for sure. What's that noise? Oh, that parrot. Yes, my parrot. I call him Parrot Pete. Yes, Pete. He's a good parrot, but he likes to get... No, that's enough of that now. Pete, that's enough of that now. I need to talk a lesson. And you need to hush that little beak of yours. That's right. No more fooling around. You heard me. It'll be to the brig with you if you behave wrongly. That's right. We gotta talk today about the fruit of the Spirit. Now, I like fruit. You like fruit? I like all kinds of fruit. You know, as a captain of the ship, I tell my men they need to eat fruit all the time. If they do, then they don't get scurvy. That's right, they don't get sick. They need to eat fruit. One of the fruits that I like, it happens during Thanksgiving. Yes, sir, we celebrate Thanksgiving on our ship, and we celebrate it with cranberries. We like cranberries. Me and my man, we make a great Thanksgiving. And we enjoy them cranberries very much. I'm sure you've had cranberries on your Thanksgiving, haven't you? I'm sure you have. Oh, you know, cranberries, they grow in a flood. That's right. They flood up the waters. Now, floods don't bother me as a captain. I take my ship and move right in there. You bet. High waters are good for me, and it's good for my ship. But you know, that's when they... Enough of that, Peter. I told you, Pete. That's enough of that. Now, that beautiful cranberry grows all over, and they harvest them cranberries, and they use them, and we get them for Thanksgiving dinner. I like that so much. Well, I've been told to tell you a story about one. Oh, I like this captain. This captain was a great captain. His name is Captain Noah. Yes, sirree, Captain Noah it was. He was one to build the biggest ship, that a man had laid eyes on. It was a gigantic ship, very larger than my ship for sure. Isn't that right, man? Yes, it was. Well, I tell you, God looked at the world and he began to see that it wasn't so good. In Genesis chapter 6 and verse 9, it says these things, that the genealogy of Noah's a good man, and we know Noah was a good man. He was a just man. He was a perfect man, it says. And Noah, he walked with God. Now, isn't that a good thing, boys and girls, to walk with God? Hey, it's right, it is a good thing. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Oh, but the earth was corrupt. Yes, the earth did all kinds of bad evil in the sight of God, and it was filled with violence. Horrible it was, the sin that man did. Oh, man, terrible things they did upon each other. Back in the days when I was a pirate, I did sinful things. I robbed and stole and did terrible things. But when I changed, and God changed me, I no longer did those terrible sinful things any longer. Well, God looked down at the earth, and the earth was indeed, it was so corrupt. All flesh had been corrupted in the whole earth. And God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I'll destroy them and all of that evil that is there. Oh, Noah heard this message. He did. Now, one thing that Noah was, and it's one of the fruits of the Spirit, it's called faithfulness. Oh, Noah was faithful to God. As God asked Noah to do a mighty deed, he was obedient. And God told Noah that he would need to build a gigantic ship. Oh, my word, it's a huge ship. Very large ship. If you look at our next scripture, it will say this. He said to make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and outside with pitch. Now, kids, you may not know what pitch is. How many of you have played in the mud? I know I've played in the mud many a times myself. As a captain, I get mud on my boots all the time. But that's what pitch is. It's just a mud. And he pitched it and he mudded it all over so it would dry, so no water would get in between the boards. That's a good captain, is it not? Yes, it is. And he said that this is how you make it. The length of the ark would be 300 cubits. Oh, that is bigger than any ship I know of. And its wide is 50 cubits. And its height is 30 cubits. He said, you shall make a window for the ark. Now, I got myself a window out of my cabin. That's right. The captain's cabin's got a window. You know what we call it? We call it a porthole. That's right, a porthole. It is just a porthole. And it's something I can look out to see what's happening out there in the world. Well, we set the door of the ark in the side, and you shall make it with a lower seconds. 3 decks should be on that ship. We have 3 decks on my ship. I have a lower deck where we store all the ammunition. And the second deck where all the crew would sleep. And then the top deck, that's where I walk on and we steer and drive the ship. Well, he says he's going to bring a floodwaters. He tells Noah, all the evil in this world is going to be wiped away and clean. He was going to destroy them from the face of the earth because of how wicked they were. Oh, what a terrible thing. Oh, it was a beautiful ark. As he built it, there were those who came and laughed at him, made fun of Noah, tried to tease him and tell him what is he doing? It hasn't rained. Why does he think that he would need to build a boat out here in the middle of nowhere? Well, he was a faithful captain, he was. As God talked to Noah, he told him that he needed to build that big boat. And even though Noah didn't understand all of it, he believed God. Now, let me ask you, mateys, do you believe God? Do you? Do you believe God when he tells you that he take care of you? Oh, yes, he is. God will take care of you. God will be able to give you the answer you need. You need to believe in God like Noah and be faithful to God, faithful to church, faithful to your prayers, faithful to your Bible study, faithful to listening to mom and dad when they talk to you. Don't you be bad or mom and dad will put you in the brig for sure. You know that'll happen. Oh, I spent many a days in the brig from mom and dad. Well, what happened is God came and took all the storm came and wiped away all of that sin on the earth. And God made a promise to Noah. He said, I will establish my covenant with you. And you shall go. And he said, when after all is done, he says, I will make you a promise that I will never destroy man again. And God made a promise, and he put a beautiful rainbow in the sky. And when he put that rainbow in the sky, it showed that God made a promise that he would never destroy man in a sin like that ever again. Well, now, today, when we sin, what do? What do I do as captain? Well, as captain, if I sin and I do wrong in God's eyes, I pray and I talk to God and ask him to forgive me of my sin. Is that what you can do, matey? Yes, you can. Oh, my word, so many have forgotten that God is right there and they can pray and talk to him. Now, there are wonderful fruits of the Spirit that we have. There is love, and there is joy, there is peace, patience, kindness, goodness. There's faithfulness, which Noah had in abundance, gentleness, self-control. These are wonderful fruits of the Spirit, right? Isn't that right, Pete? Yes, it is. Wonderful. Yes, Pete. Faithfulness is a good fruit of the Spirit. But you know, there are troubles that will come. There are times when you may see Dad and Mom having troubles. But you know, if you're faithful to God, you look out, you pray, God will help you in those troubled times. He will for sure. There's times when I'm on my ship and we're out at the sea and the storms come around us and the waves begin to reap up over the ship. I begin to worry, but I always know in the middle of the storm, I can pray and talk to God. And he will calm the waters. And he will save my ship and save my crew. Now, Noah, I know he prayed the same thing when all the storm was racking around him. God took care of him. Oh, there is times when you're going to have other young ones like yourself that'll want you to do some things you shouldn't do. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, right, Pete? Yes, that's exactly right. We know that those children sometimes those children will be tempted. Somebody will come and say, you want to do this bad thing or that bad thing, or you don't have to listen to Mom and Dad. Oh, don't you listen to that. No, that is wrong for sure. Oh, but you need to be able to know that Mom is there. Dad is there for you. And pray with them. And pray for Mom and Dad. They will be there to help. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. Galatians 5:22-23. I like the book of Galatians. It is a good book. Of course, I like all of the good book from the beginning to the end. As a pirate, I never did. I never listened to what God had to say. But now I listen and I hear what God says. I hope you do the same and that you listen to what God is teaching you. Listen to what God is saying. Well, one other verse I want to share. One wonderful verse that I like. John 15:5 says, I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me, and I in him, bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. Oh, that is true. I know my crew. They would like to do something, and they always forget about God. When we have chow and we sit down to have our meal, I say a word of prayer. I always think of the boys that they need to pray to God and seek his face. Well, let's see if you remember what I talked about today. Let's do a little game. Would you do a game with me? Very good. Let me ask a question, and let's see if you can fill in the blank for me, okay? God saw that something was corrupt and full of sin. Now, what did God see that was corrupt and full of sin? Can you answer that? Oh, did I hear world? Yes, I did. You're good boy, good boy, good boy. That was good. Now the girls. Come on, girls. Keep in mind, I want you to answer this one good for me now. God told who that he was going to flood the earth. What was the name of that captain? What was the name of the captain that was going to drive the ship, that big captain, the one God talked to build that big, huge boat? What was his name? Ah, girls got it. Noah. It was. Yes, it was Noah. Ah, Pete, you can't be a part of this. I'm not asking the parents to give me an answer. God instructed Noah to build what? What did God tell Noah that he wanted to build, boys? Boys, come on and give me an answer. Oh, yes, you got it. That's right. It's an ark. He had them build an ark. Or if you said a big boat, you'd be right there too. That's what it was. Pete, that'd be enough of that. Noah filled the ark with 2 of every kind of what? What went into the ark? He had 2 of every one of them go in the ark. Girls, what do you think of this? What was it that he brought 2 of into the ark to save them from the flood? Oh, animal. You're right. It was animals. That's right. It was animals. God saved Noah and his family because Noah was, what's that special word we've been using today? What's that word of the fruit of the Spirit we've been using today? What have I said? Noah was what? You remember that word? Come on, any of you kids can answer. Boy or girl, come on, answer me. Faithful, there you go. Very good. Boy, you're a smart group. You are. I would take you on as my ship any old day. You want to be a first mate? I'll bring you aboard and show you how to be a first mate aboard Captain Carl's ship. Well, I tell you, it has been good to be with you. Now, I've been told that there's a thing called a web page. I don't know what that is, but your mom and dad probably know what it is. See, we don't need them kind of things. Oh, it's on Facebook, they tell me. Well, my first mate told me it was Facebook. Well, I guess I don't know what Facebook is. I know what the good book is. Yeah, there's a good book right there. I don't know what a Facebook is. I guess it's a book of people's faces, I would think. But either way, you go to this thing called Facebook, and in there, I guess the church has a place for you to fill out colors and all kinds of fun things that you can do. Have your mom and daddy go there. Don't ask Captain Carl. He don't know where to go with that stuff. But listen, it has been fun to be with you today, kids. I've loved it so much. Now we have to set sail again. All right, man. Button up the hatches. Put them sails up. Get that anchor back up now, boys. We got to head out to sea again.